Your teeth. Okay, we're waiting for board member Campos to set up her camera.
Oh, okay, and then we'll have a quorum.
Yes.
Okay, tell me when, and I'll call the meeting to order.
Are you guys able to hear us?
Yes, we can hear you from the Santa Clara County Board of Office.
Perfect. Thank you.
No problem. No, they're.
Yes, they're there.
Trying to set up their. Okay. Is there anything exciting for the summer?
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay, we are good.
Okay, thank you, everyone. I'm going to call the meeting to order. It looks like it's about 10 after 3. Angel, would you please call the roll?
Levers,
Here.
Candelas, Campos, Mark. Here. Abacoga,
Here.
Vega,
Here.
Young,
Here.
Ramirez. Okay. Campos, we can't hear you.
Campos present from San Jose City Hall.
Perfect, thank you. We have a quorum.
Thank you very much. Next on the agenda is the report from the chair, which is myself. And I actually was on medical leave for about 6 weeks, just coming back. And so I do have nothing to report at this time. Hopefully next meeting I will. So thank you very much. Report from the Public Advisory Commission. Hello, Reed. Welcome.
Public Advisory Committee. We last met on Thursday, May 7th, here in the council chambers. We had a short agenda where we received a presentation on the fiscal year 2025 annual report for the Habitat Plan. And the committee discussed it and recommended that it be accepted and forwarded to the implementation board or governing board. That's it.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
At this point, I'm going to call for any public comment for items that are not on our agenda. Do we have any speaker cards?
I have no speakers in person or online.
Yeah, I was going to ask you that. Thank you very much. Okay, moving right along. Do we have any comments for items that are on the agenda, either consent or regular meeting items? Is there anyone interested in pulling anything from our agenda or changing order? Anyone on Zoom?
I see no hands raised.
Okay, well, moving right along, we're going to move to our consent calendar. We have 7 items on that. And if I have no comments from anyone, I'm going to ask for a vote. So I need a first and a second.
So moved.
Carol's.
Second.
Okay. All right, so we have a first and a second. I'll call for a vote.
Levers,
Aye.
Campos,
Yes.
Marks. Yes. Abacoga,
Aye.
Vega,
Aye.
and Young.
Yes.
Okay. Motion has passed for the consent calendar, all 7 items. Okay, moving on to regular business. Okay, on our first agendized item is the review of Mr. Sullivan's salary increase of 3% and a merit bonus of 5%. So it is recommended by the subcommittee and that we approve this. So at this point, I'll take any comments or questions from the board.
Give me 1 second. One person's coming over to panelists and I'm not sure if they have a question.
Okay, that's fine.
Oh, you got it on my bad. Hey, everybody, sorry, I'm late. I just joined Candelas.
Welcome.
Oh.
So I'll repeat, we're now on item number 8. And do we have any comments from or questions from the board? Seeing none, I'll move on. Is there any comments from the public on this subject? Seeing none? Oh, you do, okay.
I have one. It says Domingo Candelas. I'm not sure if there was a mix up there.
Okay,
Well, I'm here.
Okay.
Sorry, I raised my hand so I can say that I'm here, but I don't know
Okay.
how to take that off. That's a question for my team.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.
Then we have no speakers.
okay, we'll just wave back to you, okay, the whole meeting. All righty, so I need a motion then to go forward with this recommendation.
Motion.
I need a second.
Second.
Carol, second. Do I have any further discussion before we take it to vote? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote.
Okay.
Levers,
Aye.
Candelas,
Yes.
Campos,
Yes.
Marks.
Yes.
Abikoga,
Aye.
Vega,
Aye.
and Young.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you, everyone. Moving on to item number 9, report from the executive officer. Hello,
Thank you.
Mr. Sullivan, welcome.
Oh, thank you. Good to see you all. And I want to thank you all for being flexible in scheduling this meeting today. We had a couple time-sensitive issues on the consent agenda, especially related to a new lease, moving into our new space. So appreciate it, the flexibility there. So I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the financial. And let's see.
Let me help you out.
Yep, sorry.
Okay, that should do it.
Thanks.
Welcome.
And if I sound a little like a foghorn, that's because I'm recovering from a cold. Well, but feeling better today. So thank you again. So just going to go over the financial overview as of at the end of May 31st. So this will give you an idea where we stand financially, the agency as of the end of May. So we have a little over 8.6 million invested in the local agency investment fund, which is kind of like a high yield savings account. I'm sure a lot of the governments around here have that money invested with the state. And that's kind of our war chest for, our rainy day fund and, some of the monies we need for the borrowing out program. Then the endowment fund, which is invested with Sand Hill Global Partners, which is a private firm that invests foundation monies and private trusts in their funds. They're managing our endowment like we would or anybody would a 401k. So that's for the future. And when the permit is sunsetted in 39 years, and the only thing the agency or whatever entities created at that time, that's the money that'll be used to manage all the lands in perpetuity. So there's no burden on the co-permittees to manage all those protected lands or the federal or state government. We also have a liquidity account, which is money that's earning a little higher interest rate than what LAIF can provide. That's also being managed by Sand Hill. And as you can see, it's around 3.45 million. So total investment accounts are a little over 23 million. We also have an operating account balance, which is with JP Morgan Chase, and it's just under 1.4 million. So revenues to date, we projected our revenues were going to be around 4.2 million this year. And as of May, they're just under that. So we expect to exceed our projections for revenues this year slightly. Grants are down this year than they haven't been years past because we haven't done any like land acquisition. That's usually what triggers those big grant amounts that you've seen in the past. And reimbursements from grants and foundation funds of mainly from the state are, I should say the feds too, are just under 1.6 million to May. Then investment income. So on all those investment accounts I talked about earlier, it's we'll call it 1.36 million. Interest income, about 650,000. Lease revenue, that's primarily from ranching and grazing of our lands. and also the Sporting Clays facility out at in San Bruno Canyon. That's about 122,000. Other miscellaneous revenue, which is everything else, is 260,000. For total revenues as of the end of May at about, we'll call it 8.1 million, just slightly less than that. We project it'll probably be around 9 million by the end of the year.
And you mean fiscal year?
Yes, sorry.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. And then on the expense side, this kind of gives you an idea of where we were budgeted and where we are to date in the various categories that we track. So through 5/31, we've spent around just under 7.3 million. We had budgeted that we are going to spend around 10.2. So we're just slightly have spent less than 3 million less than we had projected for this year. We will not spend 10.2, but probably somewhere in the 8.5 million range is what I'm projecting we'll be spending for this year. So we'll be under budget for this fiscal year. And that's the end of that presentation. I'll just I'll just return to that seat.
I do have some questions about
Yes.
revenues.
Yes.
Okay, if you want to go back to that slide or not.
Yeah.
I just have two questions really quick. On the interest, okay, it's, let's see, where does it say? Yeah, thank you. Interest, okay, is that monthly? It's like 654. Is that monthly or is that annually?
That's from July 1st of last year
So,
to May 31st of this year.
okay, so it's an annual. And
Yeah.
is that money diversified or is it in one account that you're getting the interest from?
The interest stuff, a lot of that's in the that LAIF accounts. So, that 8 million that we have in LAIF.
Mhm.
So a lot of that interest is that, and also that liquidity account. So those are the two accounts that the interest is accruing.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Oh, you're
And then my
welcome.
second question, you mentioned clay shooting.
Yeah.
San Bruno, where is that? San Bruno is like north, but.
Yeah, San Bruno Canyon. I don't know where that name came from, but it's just outside of Morgan Hill.
Okay,
Do you know where the PD has their shooting range?
yes, I know exactly where it is.
Yeah.
But
So
it just, you threw me off
yeah,
with San Bruno.
yeah, it's I should give the full name. It's the Coyote Valley Sporting Clays facility.
Perfect.
Yes.
All right, thank you. Those are my questions. Thank
Oh,
you.
you're welcome.
Before we move on, does anyone else on the board have any questions in regards to revenue, investments, expenses? Before we move on? Anybody online? Okay, thank you very much.
Oh, you're welcome.
Okay.
So I'm just going to give you a little update on the advocacy trips that were taken recently. Both the Washington trip, which as we all know, it's a different political climate there now than it has been really ever before, probably, at least in our lifetimes. And also the advocacy day that we had in Sacramento last month. So I'll start out with the state. So I was there as a representative of our organization and also obviously representing the co-permittees and also with the California HCP Coalition. So plans from across the state gathered on that day to meet with our reps. I met with Assembly Member Pellerin.
Great.
Had a good meeting with her. And with the larger group, we met with the staff, not the individuals themselves, the members themselves, but Senator Cortese and Becker's office, as well as Assembly Member Clara and Speaker Rivas's office. We had a really good meeting, especially with one of Senator Becker's staff and with Speaker Rivas's chief of staff. It was a very productive meeting with both of them. We also met with Megan Hurdle, who is the new director of the California Department of Fish and Wildlife. She's an advocate for what we do, which is refreshing compared to the previous director, which he seemed rather ambivalent to what we do. We advocated for a quicker rollout of Wildlife Conservation Board Prop 4 funds. So there's something called the Administrative Procedures Act. And we were asking for an exemption, and that seems to be gathering steam. The Senate recently that got out of committee, and it's being considered by the Assembly now. So hopefully that will lead to quicker rollout for the Prop 4 funds, which will be good for everybody in the state, not just us. And, we talked to them about why NCCPs and HCPs are a good idea from a permitting, streamlining standpoint and a better conservation outcome standpoint, and just sort of an educational, both with members of the legislature as well as their staff. And the importance of what we do in helping the state reach its 30 by 30 biodiversity goals. We noted our support for several bills and for cap and trade funds to be earmarked specifically for natural and working lands more broadly. And there's probably going to be less money in the cap and trade fund than was originally thought. So I don't know that there was, whether there'll be any money for what we're pushing for, but there was an agreement amongst a lot of the individuals we met for earmarking monies from that fund for rangeland and forest land and stuff like that. So the Washington trip, I was there with the National HCP Coalition. So again, plans from California and across the country were there meeting our various representatives. I had a brief meeting with House Member Padilla, but other than that, it was primarily the staff of our delegation, both from the Senate and House standpoint. We also met with a lot of officials from the administration and various committees, both Senate and House committees, to talk about HCPs, Section 6 funding through the Endangered Species Act. We had a really interesting meeting with one of the top people at Interior and the new director of Fish and Wildlife Service. They were, I think, a little, didn't really understand what we did. And it was good that we met with them and educated them for what we do. And yeah, it's a voluntary land. There's this idea that what we do is eminent domain and we take land from farmers and ranchers, and real misunderstanding. And then there's also this conception that somehow the federal government is owning the land that we're acquiring, and we cleared that up. And then there were subsequent meetings that we've had and some of my colleagues have had with Department of Interior. And soon after that meetings with them, funding was released on grants that were awarded. They applied for it for a couple of years ago, and they were awarded late summer last year, and the funding was finally released. We did not have an application in for that round, but so I think part of that was a result of us being there, meeting with them and having those productive meetings. So one of my colleagues says, if you're not there, you're if you're not at the table, you're on the menu. So
Out of sight, out of mind.
yes, exactly. So just some land acquisition updates, and I want to thank the county. So Prime Policy Group helped set up a lot of the meetings I had with the staff and representatives of our delegation. Excuse me. So hot off the press, this happened just a little bit before the meeting today. We finally closed escrow on the Silver Creek and Kirby Slope preserves. So Taylor Morrison Homes transferred the preserves plus almost $5.3 million. This is a no-cost transfer of ownership to us. It's 676 acres in total, 167 acres of which is unencumbered. So part of the property was set aside as mitigation for the Taylor Morrison project. It was William Lyon Homes built the homes back then in eastern section of near the Silver Creek area of San Jose. And they had set up a mitigation bank that they really didn't want to manage anymore. Fish and Wildlife Service, U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service didn't want them to manage anymore. And both parties asked us if we would take it over. And we said, well, we would if if there's an endowment, because it costs money to manage the land. So that money, and in addition, we'd like the land that, there's got to be something in it for us. So that's the 167 acres that we're going to get at no cost that we'll be able to count towards our goals of acquiring 46,000 acres. So it's a win-win for everybody. So that finally happened today. And thanks to our real estate person, Robin Cohn, and also Taylor Morrison's lawyer, in working through over 200 exceptions on the property, many of them very confusing, related to the original development. And so we worked through all that legal stuff and finally got it done today. As you know, Post acquired the Mead Ranch, which was part of the Bechtel Holdings. We will be requiring roughly 1,000 acres of the 2,100 acre ranch from them. And we're in the process of going out and fundraising for that. The assignment of the Bellolimi Ranch along Highway 152, that's around 1,400 acres. Valley Water had an option on it because it was going to be a mitigation site for Anderson Dam. Now that Pacheco Dam, now that Pacheco Dam is not happening, they offered to assign the option to us. And it's a beautiful property, and we're hoping to fundraise and acquire that. We have 3 years to fundraise for that. And then we've successfully negotiated with a landowner along that same highway, because as you know, we've been working on a wildlife crossing along that highway. And we've negotiated terms with a landowner to acquire 200 acres on the north side of the road. South side of the road we own. So hopefully we'll complete that transaction, and then we'll have both sides of the road secured, and then we'll be able to build the wildlife crossing. WCB said they would only fund it if we had land rights on both sides of the road, which makes sense. And funding for that would be $500,000 from the Wildlife Conservation Network, and the balance coming from the Habitat Agency. So 2 other potential acquisitions are in the queue. Too early to really discuss. And just a quick grant update. Thank Valley Water for a $500,000 grant for the Pajaro River Phase 3 project. We're also going to be going after state funding restoration monies for that. We submitted grants to the Wildlife Conservation Board and the State Coastal Conservancy totaling $7 million for the Mead acquisition, the Mead Ranch acquisition. Directional fencing, we had some monies to build some directional fencing along Highway 152 that directs the animals to the undercrossings that are there. Ultimately, it'll have to be bigger and longer, and we'll have to direct them to the overcrossing. And that was completed just a couple months ago. So that's great. And we're hoping to wrap up design for the overcrossing next year. So maybe in the next 3 years, we'll be coming to you with a big request to approve a construction contract for the wildlife bridge. And that's definitely a party we'll have to have and invite you all to.
Definitely.
So we're also involved in Bay Checkers Park recovery actions. So like we've been doing with the owls, we'll be doing captive breeding, population augmentation, and reintroduction to select properties. We're working with the Larry Alvison Wildlife Center in Saratoga to help out with that breeding program. Some great news on burrowing owls. As of the end of May, we have 298 burrowing owls at all our sites, 102 adults and 196 young. There are still some nests with eggs and a few more where we don't know if there's eggs or not. So we're suspecting it'll be over 300 owls this year, which is great considering where they were a few years ago. We have a new webpage. So it was part of the grant amendment process or the plan amendment process, and a new database. And the database is really a game changer for us. It's going to integrate a lot of what we do, including cover project impacts and compliance. It'll help with understanding take limits. And we're going to have an online application now everything's going to be active July 1st. And that'll allow for staff and our client project proponents to be able to fill out the applications quicker and for us to track impacts a lot better. Annual report will be easier to produce now. So we're getting with the 21st century on that. Thank you.
Thank you. That was an excellent report. All good news. Love it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I do have a couple of questions.
Yes,
Okay, on your Washington trip, is that an annual event that you will?
it is. Yeah.
You do attend annually. Good. I was
Yep.
gonna suggest that you do. And let's see, I had another question. Oh, you mentioned a couple of different projects that you'll be fundraising. What does that entail? Who are you fundraising with?
So usually it's the Moore Foundation, Coast, State of California. We'll be putting some of those properties I spoke of. We'll be applying for the next round of Section 6 funding through the federal government.
Okay.
And the Wildlife Conservation Network, if there's a wildlife connectivity nexus, they will help fund land acquisition. So the property on Pacheco, both properties on Pacheco, they would be interested in funding.
Okay, thank you. I didn't know if you meant you were going to have a gala or something in Southie.
That'd be nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good to know. I mean.
Yeah. We could have like a cupcake, get the Girl Scouts to help out.
Something, okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for clarifying both of those questions for me. So I'll ask my board members, does anyone here or in the audience on Zoom have questions for the reports?
We have the city of San Jose has their hand raised.
Okay, please go ahead.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you, Ed, for the report. I did have a question on the Lion property that you mentioned and the mitigation on that. Can
Yes.
any way you can send me more information on that?
Yes. So it's tucked up in the hills above. Do you know where the YCS Young Ranch property is?
Yes.
It's just to the.
Yes, I do.
Yeah, it's just to the northeast of that ranch. So it's those homes up in the hills above where Harvey or where the county has its park and where there's the parkway there. There's a couple golf courses up there. I can certainly send you more information about it too.
Awesome. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
Appreciate you.
Do we have any other questions?
I see no other hands.
Okay. Well, moving right along, I do want everyone to note that meeting schedule for the next few months. Okay, it's on your agenda. Our next meeting is July 16th. Okay, so we'll see you then. And then I want to make sure, does anyone have anything they'd like to be agendized for our next meeting? Now would be the time to put it forward. Seeing no hands, right? Okay, well, that concludes our meeting for today. I will adjourn the meeting at 36. Okay, thank you. All righty. Thank you, everyone, for attending.
Yeah, thank you. And have a great 4th, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you, you too.